Hi, I'm Dave Scholler on Telling It Like It Is, League One preview. Gentleman on the other side of the screen is Matt Candameres, head coach of Central Islip. Matt, thanks for coming on today.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you for having me.
It's great to have you. You're going to be joining us over at CI. Great programs, a lot of great tradition over there. So you must be pretty excited.
Oh, I'm absolutely excited. There's a lot of tradition. The previous coaches from Jimmy Mott, with Andre Murphy to Larry Butsky before that, and then the years before that, they just did a great job with this program, and I'm excited to be a part of it.
Oh, it's a great basketball tradition over there. I'm fortunate. I live not too far from there. I always get a chance to pop in and see games, and so I like to do that once in a while. But when it doesn't conflict with my schedule out at Eastport. But what do you have coming back as far as I know the new? It's different because you weren't at Central Islip last year. What do you have returning players wise this year?
We have a couple starters returning. I mean, last year it was tough for the guys. I only played 4 games with the COVID year. They were one of the teams that kind of got shut down. We have a junior returner who was a sophomore last year. His name is Jaden Butts, about 6'6" length, athletic, great kid, strong left hand, can shoot from the outside. So we're excited to have him. He's been putting in some good work. We have another sophomore, Zymel Murray, who's going to be a junior. His brother is actually a sophomore right now, Raleigh Murray. And those two kids are just basketball in the gym, kids all the time. So they're putting in the work. We have another big, about 6'5", Rashawn Knowles Bryant. Just old school, back to the basket. I'm going to try to outmuscle you. I'm going to get 10, 15 rebounds a game, and then if he could hit his layups, it could be a big time season. So we're excited about him. And then we have a lot of wing guys that love to get to the basket. When it comes to Michael Owens, is a name that comes to mind. Tayshawn Bumper is another sophomore. All these guys are underclassmen. None of these guys are seniors. And then we have one senior leader coming up is Danny Mars, who's your glue guy, will do anything you ask, take a charge, run the plays the right way, step up, cover the best guy on the other team. So we feel like we have some versatility, and now it's my job to get them all together and playing on the same page.
Wow. So you sound like you got a good basically a good group of guys to work with this year. Sounds exciting.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of them are first year varsity players, and especially 2 years. You go from playing in 9th grade JV season, and all of a sudden you're playing junior varsity season. It's a big bump when it comes to X's and O's, when it comes to putting the team first over your skill, understanding. So they're all trying to mold together, but I'm excited. I'm excited to get going.
Yep.
Just like every other team, we're trying to get better every single day, and that's on me.
Yeah, it's exciting because League One is such a tough league. I know we were talking before. We got both Sachems in there. We have Floyd, CI, Brantwood, Patchogue, Medford, and Riverhead as well. I mean, so that's such a deep league. It's always never a night off in that league. So it's a tough situation, but. The hardest thing about the COVID, I think COVID hit basketball more than any other sport because we just couldn't even get in the gyms, period. So you couldn't even get enough work in. Whereas other sports playing outside, you feel like they found ways where they could still meet and do things. But with us in the gyms, it was really hard to get in. I feel we had no junior high season last year for basketball. So I feel like it definitely hit basketball the hardest.
No, absolutely. I mean, there's different ways to look at it. I mean, I think the more talented players are going to find ways to get their game better. I mean, we see that across the board. But when it comes to those middle guys that might not be big time AAU players, or the 2 or 3 sport guys that kind of put different times in, I think we're going to see a drop off in skill level when it comes to like the 4th, 5th, or 6th guy on a team. And then 2, when it comes from a maturity standpoint, just understanding terminology when you say, the other team's running flex, the other team's switching, the other team's hedging. I need you to hedge and recover. I need you to load to the strong side. Triple threat, like little basic things like that. It's a huge drop off, and you see it. And when kids take a whole year off from team basketball, you're going to see. I think it's going to take a little while for that to recover.
Very true. I definitely think I noticed watching the junior high practices every day at my place that waiting around for my practice to start. I realized it's definitely took an effect because you're watching, like you said, junior high kids. It's just the structure. It's very confusing for them to even just have any basic background in basketball knowledge because of the situation of missing a whole year. So it's rough.
Absolutely.
especially for the ninth grade class. I feel like, I'm fortunate. My junior high is in my building, but I didn't get to really watch them last year. So the ninth grade crew, I'm not as familiar with as I would be. So it's definitely tough. So tell me about your league this year. What would you expect from League One this year? It's always tough.
Yeah, well, you said League One, they have their personalities. Each team brings something else. They have a different culture that you have to scout and play against. The one thing about League One is there's a bunch of new faces. I mean, I'm new to CI. Tom Malise back at North. Will Sinkowski at Floyd, John Ford at Longwood, Riverhead has a new program right here, new direction, and they're new to League One. So there's a lot of new personality, and we're gonna have to learn about it really quick. And then of course you have guys like Anthony Jimenez running Brentwood. That program is always a powerhouse when it comes to Suffolk County basketball. So it's just I think all the coaches are in the same boat. I think it's gonna be a lot of fourth quarter games. 1 or 2 possession games with 4 or 5 minutes left, and whoever could execute in those moments are gonna make the playoffs, and the ones that don't are gonna find themselves a game or two out.
How's your non-league schedule, Coach? What do you have coming?
I'm excited. I think it's a good non-league schedule. Well, we're playing Charlie Peck and Bayport, and we want to do that with the way they kind of run and gun and spread it out. I think that's going to be a good game. New to me, we're playing Hills West. I know they have a new program, so we're hoping that prepares us a little bit. They're always a special program.
Yep.
We're playing at Wyandanch for like a Martin Luther King Invitational, which our guys are definitely excited about. So that's going to be in January. Then we're playing Picarillo and Ward Melville, who now they're in League Two. They're always just a pain in the what to scout against, and they're gonna execute on both ends. So that's always a good challenge. So we're excited about our non-league. We think it's going to help prepare us for our league games. There's a reason why we scheduled some of the games we scheduled.
Sure.
And we're just there's going to be a lot of close games, so we're ready for the challenge.
Oh yeah, League One is always close games, like you said, a lot of fourth quarter games, and it's always hard when you have I always look at schedules and I always say to myself, if you're in a league where you have a team that's a traditional powerhouse, you just try to avoid anything you can do to stop them from going 0-2 against them. So like when you look at whether it be West Hampton from their mid 90s to late 90s, or Brentwood now, or Harborfield's back when they had Lucas, it's just so hard. Like you try to say to yourself, oh geez, it's such a changing experience for the league when you have a team like that in the league. So, and Brentwood is always tough, like you said. It's amazing how good they are year to year, and
100%.
And it's exciting time though, because right now it's none of us have lost a game yet, so that's good.
Yeah, still undefeated.
So we're all undefeated. Yes, they had the parent meeting. I said, all right, we're undefeated. That's the good news. So,
yeah, there you go.
Nobody can get on our case yet, but so without asking you to give anything away, what kind of style you like to play going forward?
I think we're gonna. I'm a spread it out guy. I like to space it out. If we have more shooters, we're gonna shoot more. If we have more guys that finish at the rim, that's what we're gonna try to do. I'm still learning these guys, and they're still learning me. But I say for the most part, we're gonna be attacking the basket. We're gonna try to turn you over as much as we can without turning ourselves over. There's no point.
Sure.
If you create 20 turnovers with 25 times, you're still -5 in that category.
Very true.
So we're definitely gonna space it out, and we're gonna try to pound it down low, and we're trying to get downhill with our guards as much as we can. And if we have that mentality, I think we'll be all right. And then if we develop into some of our shooters, develop a lot of consistency, I mean that's just gonna make us more dangerous. So that's the goal right now. Your plan on day 1 is not your plan on day 4, which is not your plan on day 7. So I'm sure once league schedule comes, what my mindset is now is gonna change a little bit. But that's the beauty of having a long season, unlike last year when everything was it was hard to make adjustments because you had 3.5 weeks. So
yes. What do you have in the way of scrimmages, Coach?
We play next Tuesday on the 6th. Not on the 6th, on the 23rd. We're going to Newfield. Great. Anthony Agostino runs a great program. Love their facilities over there, so that should be a good challenge. Sure. And then we have a multi-team scrimmage with Connect Quad and Huntington. I know Black over at Connect Quad is kind of molding that program into what he wants, and he's done a great job the last year doing that. And then Kenny over at Huntington now. That program's lucky to have him.
Yep.
So that's going to be a challenge. That's going to be a challenge in itself.
That's one of the best defensive coaches around. Kenny, I love Kenny. Great coach.
Absolutely.
And Kyle Black does a great job too. So we're fortunate. Well, we're really fortunate to have young coaches like yourself, and we're fortunate that you get to be taking over a program like Central Islip. It's a wonderful opportunity for you, and we thank you for coming on today. And we wish you nothing but the best. If there's anything we could do for you, I'm telling it like it is. Let us know. We want to come back on and never talk about a game or anything. We love to have you.
Hey, great. Yes, like I said, Suffolk County is lucky to have you doing this. This is great for Long Island basketball, for the kids, the coaches, the parents, everybody around. So I always appreciate you having me on, and I'm looking forward to the season.
Coach, again, thanks for coming on. We appreciate it.
Hey, no problem.
Thank you. So now we're going to talk about Sachem East. The great John Finter is over there, very creative offensive mind. Always great basketball, trying to cover his teams on the defensive end of the floor. John has been at the school 18 years. He tells me he doesn't know about his career wins, so we'll go with that. His Mount Rushmore of players is Sachem East, and he's been there since the beginning. He was at Bayport before that, did a great job over there. We got Dan Candameres. Although I spoke with Matt off camera, he was not happy that he's not included in this group here, Coach Finter. Chris Booth, Dan Wolf, Jake Passaretti, all excellent players. I remember those gentlemen. Greatest win ever at the school for Sachem East. 2004, 2005 versus Brentwood. First-year program, upset of a state semifinalist. That is a huge win. Describe any returning starters that you have. AJ Esposito, 6'5" junior shot blocker. Nick Kozlowski, 6'4" junior, does everything well. Josh Andrechuk, 5'9" senior point guard, hard-nosed, gets to the rim. Will Lynn, 5'8", can play combo guard, shoots the ball well. Mateo Giacone, 6'1" senior slasher. Hopefully I'm not mispronouncing these names. Sorry to the moms and dads out there. Mike Giarinani, 6 foot senior hard-nosed player, and Tommy Signo, a 6'2" three-point shooter. So it sounds like a good group of players over there for Sachem East. Like I said before, though, to Coach Matt, that League One is really tough. League One is really tough, and we know how deep the league is. And but I wanted to let Coach go on a Sunday afternoon. I appreciate him giving us that time. The COVID season was a very young team last year that Coach had. He also has Alex Apicella, 6 foot sophomore. We have Justin Lanzarone, 6 foot sophomore shooter, and Pete Malek. Ooh, that's a tough name to say. Malecki, a 6 foot junior shooter. Outlook and expectations. Coach Finter feels like they have some great depth and they have some size and shooting potential. If things come together, he feels like they have a chance to make the playoffs. And with Coach Finter coaching, that's always true. Excellent coach. Obviously, Brentwood is the toughest team in the league on paper, but he feels that any other given day, the rest of the league is going to be very competitive with each other. Obviously, Brentwood is very tough. Anthony does a fine job, and Brentwood's always a well-run program. The non-league schedule, Bellport and Copeg, and just those are very tough games. Connecticut Coach Association Tournament at John Glenn. So Connecticut always well-run by Coach Black. Bellport and Copeg, always excellent programs. So Sachem East should be in the mix this year. Again, we're doing this for Suffolk County Basketball League One preview, and we reached out with all the survey to the coaches, and we try to have some of the coaches on, but it's hard to get everybody on during the season. So we take, we're so happy to have anybody we can get here on the program. And so we're going to be moving forward here with William Floyd. Matt Linkowski is the coach now, taking over for Coach Hodson. When I asked him about Will Slinkowski, not Matt, Jesus Lord, I'm getting old. It's Will Slinkowski. I remember him as an excellent player. It means I'm getting old that I didn't remember that. But that's okay. Matt was Candameres. Will Slinkowski. Can't believe I did that. But here I'm telling like it is, we make our mistakes. It's okay. We're going to do that. The Mount Rushmore at Floyd. That's tough. That's tough. Devontae Dixon. All right. All-state multi-line player, led Alliance scoring 30 points per game. Attended Talladega University, where he won honorable mention All-American honors, was the MVP All-Defensive Team in the SWAC. Wow. Pretty good. Anthony White, one of my favorite players of all time. 2012 All-State multiple line player, played Division I basketball, St. Francis College in Brooklyn. Very well-rounded player. Just watched him get better every year. One of those guys who reminded me of an old Duke player that I love, who's now on their bench, named Chris Carrawell, a guy who just improved every year. And the real a beauty of basketball and coaching is when you watch a kid get better like that every year. Of course, Ryan Hodson was a 1,000-point scorer at Floyd, one of the 5 they've had, attended West Point Academy, no 4. But the best player they've ever had is Rob Hodson, a gentleman and a great player, 94 All-State player, multiple Long Island Player Awards, top 3 all-time scorer in New York State history, led his team to a county championship. Rob then played at Rutgers, played overseas, and quite a gentleman of basketball. And the Hodson family's done so much for Suffolk County basketball. And of course, Bob Sr. is, God rest his soul, one of my favorite coaches I've ever coached against. Greatest win ever at the school. Well, Richie Sinclair, who's now the girls' head coach, had a 3-point shot with no time remaining on the clock to win a Suffolk County championship game, defeating Bridgehampton. But Floyd's had so many great wins over the years, it's hard to even quantify that. And that's the beauty of being a great program like Floyd. So Coach Will's going to have a great success this year with that team. I can feel it coming on the because you can see they were getting better the last couple of years, and so I'm sure Will's going to do a great job. Coming back, what do you have? Well, we got Mike Smith Jr., combination guard that mixes it up with the forwards when necessary. Can shoot the 3. It's aggressive driving to the basket. Juwan Smith, freshman, high-flying player, explosive finishes, going to the basket, can step out and make the 3-point shot. And then we have Jermaine King. It's a savvy freshman who hits 3-point shots, good range, very good at organizing the team. Joey McLaurin's a freshman combo guard who shoots 3-point shot well and will get his first varsity action this season. And Nick Tarry, a junior, who's a defender who can turn it around in mid-range on offense. Like I said, you got to be excited for Floyd basketball. It's they're right up the road from me at Eastport here. So we're excited to see what our neighbors at Floyd do. They had a 3rd-place finish in League One with the youngest team in the league during the COVID season. Up-and-coming team that lost 2 all-league players from last season. Joe Urasan, I hope I'm pronouncing that right for the moms and dads, like I said. Rookie of the year candidates, and like I said, junior Nick Tarry and junior Mike Smith. So things are definitely happening at Floyd. Like I said, up-and-coming new guys, like we just mentioned, Joey McLaurin was probably the first guy. He led the JV to a first-place finish last year. William Floyd will be looking to make some waves this season as one of our youngest players have a season of varsity under their belt. The sky's the limit for the group. The chemistry is rolling. They've had a great mix of youth and talent. Have some elements to have a breakout year. Invited to high flyer Juwan Smith was invited to CP3's All-Star Invitational Camp last summer. Mike Smith spent the summer in workouts at Division I schools, Drexel and Youngstown State. Jermaine King's one of the best freshmen in Suffolk, as an intelligent player, has a work ethic that's nonstop. So obviously some excitement over at William Floyd. It's always a great program, always well run. Still love the multi-scrimmages there over the years with the 2 gyms. It's always such a big advantage. Then we have Anthony Jimenez over at Brentwood. I couldn't get Anthony to come on today, but that's right. I'll run into him in Smithtown here. We live right around the corner from each other. 25 years, 311 wins, 19 years at the school. Mount Rushmore, Brentwood, really tough. Got to start with the best, though. Mitch Kupchak, North Carolina All-American, U.S. gold medalist, 1976. Professional Washington Bullets, Lakers. Some of my Lakers championship teams of the 80s. I'm a Magic Johnson fan, so I don't really root for the Lakers anymore, but back then I did. He's general manager now of the Hornets, and was the Lakers, 7-time NBA champion as a player and exec. John Garcia, remember him? I was coach at St. Anthony's. We played them 2 weeks in a row. 2005 grad, 2-time Suffolk County Player of the Year, played at Seton Hall. Mike Almonsi, a great story. I love the stick-to-itiveness of Mike Almonsi. Did a great job when came up against some tough circumstances with coaching changes and schools discontinuing their programs. And Mike has never stopped, and I give him a ton of credit. 2016 grad, 2014 Player of the Year, all-time leading scorer with 1,400 points, 2-time Suffolk County champ, 2-time Long Island champ, played at Stony Brook, transferred to App State, and to see him play in the NCAA tournament last year, truly a great moment for Long Island basketball. Jameel Allen, 2016 grad, 2015 Player of the Year, 1,000-point scorer, Suffolk County champ, 2-time Long Island champ, Missouri, Kansas City, a D1 player. And Jordan Riley, who was just an amazing player last year. Happy to see him at Georgetown. I was watching the Georgetown game the other day, rooting hard for Jordan. 1,000-point scorer, 2-time Suffolk County Player of the Year, 2-time Suffolk County 2019 and 2020 Player of the Year, a one-time Long Island champ. And so obviously we're excited to see him at Georgetown, and definitely tune in and watch Patrick. And that's going to be fun. What do they have coming back for the year? Well, Coach always has a good plan for the year, right? So if we look here, talk about the challenges in League One. We have excited to have chemistry and get a full season in. CI and William Floyd are going to be great challenges for us, but the entire league has coaches that prepare the teams well for competition. So it sounds like League One, like we said before, very deep. Annual game versus Deer Park is always a great test in the non-league. Both schools, they also play Uniondale and the Nassau Suffolk Challenge this year, which is really exciting. That's going to be something that's fun to watch. Uniondale always does a great job. So it's going to be a fun situation. So we're looking forward to watching Brentwood this year. And League One is going to be tough. I know Patchogue is going to be fun. Coach Lamb at Riverhead is going to have some success. You got Coach Moulet back at Sachem North. It's always good to have Coach back. And like I said, we got a lot of fun. Got Wildo Toned over at Patchogue. We're playing them non-league, so it's going to be fun. There's a lot of sides I know in the league this year, so it could be interesting. But it should be a fun season. And League One will definitely have a ton of action in it. So again, we thank you for watching Tell Them Like It Is. Spotify, iTunes, Anchor, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, we're everywhere. Tell your friends about us, subscribe, it's free. Thanks for coming on, Tell Them Like It Is, League One preview, boys basketball.